Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff Mom Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. And our Monday mini of today is kind of current. So as we're recording, it is August 7th, 2025. And we have done a lot of past episodes that are related to this, especially around online dating and the Bumble fumble, perhaps specifically. Quick content warning, we're going to be touching on sexual assault, but nothing too in-depth. But okay, we are talking about what is going on with the dating advice app called T. And it's ongoing, so that's why I put in the date. So T Dating Advice is an app that became available in 2023, but really skyrocketed in July 2025. It became the most downloaded free app in the App Store. At its most basic, it is an app that is only for women, more on that later, and a place where women can post about potential bad dates or bad dates that they have been on already with men. It is similar to things we've talked about before about like Facebook pages dedicated to exposing cheating men. The company calls it a, quote, dating safety tool. And the app promised to donate 10% of its revenue to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. So essentially, yes, it was women spilling tea on bad actor men in the dating scene in a very heteronormative sense. The app uses AI data from selfies to ensure that the users are women. Once that's verified, the users can post pictures of men, typically from other dating sites, apps, or social media platforms. The app then puts the photos through background checks, runs them against databases on public sex offenders, and also checks for signs of catfishing. It has a chat function and green flag, red flag rating system. Okay, so we're going to get into this, but the app raised a lot of questions about legality, and it made a lot of men angry. When it comes to legal issues, obviously, not a lawyer, but here's a rundown, because there are a lot of legal questions about an app that includes pictures and other information that people themselves didn't post on it. However, in the digital landscape we live in, if you posted a picture on Instagram, for instance, it's sort of fair game, even if you didn't consent to it being posted on T. It's still your picture, you own it, but you gave the platform the right to distribute it. That makes it tricky to use this argument as a legal defense. Like, I didn't put it up there, it shouldn't be there. It's kind of out there. On top of that, someone may have posted a photo of you that you're in that you don't know. You can't really control that. Another piece of this are like legal arguments around defamation, which is fairly complicated. The basic definition of defamation is when someone puts out false information that damages someone's reputation, and they do it knowingly. There are a couple of other stipulations. It has to be made public to at least one person. It has to be presented as fact, even though it's untrue, as opposed to opinion. The person behind the statement must be at fault, and the result of the whole thing was financial or emotional distress. Oh, I say it that way because a certain current president used this argument, even though everyone was like he should not have been able to, but okay. As you can imagine, in a lot of ways, this can be difficult to prove in court if you're not the president. In this case, though, generally, these women are expressing their opinions, not as facts, and that's not defamation. Intent to harm is difficult to prove in this case, too, because the women could argue that they're trying to protect others from men's bad behavior. Some things are legally protected, like social security numbers or medical or financial information. It's a bit more complicated than that, but that's a separate episode. On top of this, doxing or sharing personal information, including addresses with intent to cause fear, harassment, or harm, is illegal in many states. How well it is enforced is one thing, but it is illegal. There are also a couple of anti-cyberstalking laws that can come into play, but they're inconsistent when we're having this conversation. Other issues. A lot of this whole thing reminds me of our self-defense episode we did about women paying for self-defense classes to protect themselves from sexual assaults when, ideally we would be addressing the root issue of the sexual assault. We have so much data, and much of it is underreported, about the statistics around violence against women. And in terms of an intimate partner, even specifically, and dating and online dating, and they are not good. We've talked before about how we had systems as women for going on dates. Like you would tell your friends where you were going. You might have a friend. I know you had one like sitting in the corner, like
behind me.
Behind you. Like we have these plans to go on dates. We have these safety procedures. And the reason the app grew in popularity was when a lot of women started sharing that they learned about domestic or sexual violence in potential dates that they'd had in the past. A recent study out of the US and Australia found that 10% of reported rapes can be traced to dating apps. Most of the victims are women. Again, very underreported. Yet there are no loud calls to shut those apps down, these other dating apps, like there were from men about tea. They were mad. Also, plenty of other apps are coming out with safety functions. I know Uber just released their like request a woman driver function. Which I have mixed feelings about because I've also gotten in a car. I didn't request it, but it wasn't the woman at the picture of the driver. It was a man. And he was like, oh, no, it's my wife and she's sick. And I was like,
oh, that's scary.
Okay. So I can see that being an issue in this whole thing. And then, I'm sure some of you are asking, like, how do we use AI to confirm someone's gender these days? We've also talked about documented racism and facial recognition software. So how does that play into this whole thing? And some men have reported getting past it. I don't know that it was ever like proven that they did or if they were just saying that, but some men have said like, yeah, I got past it. There's also the whole conversation about vigilante justice in the digital age and targeting the wrong people. So I know in at least one case, like somebody got piled on and it was not the person in question. They went for the wrong person, which happens in all kinds of online spaces. There's also the conversation about people with criminal records not being worth love because, people can change. And also, we don't know what they did. You might not get that information. The app's founder, Sean Cook, reportedly created this app after watching his mom get catfished and dating people with criminal records. And this seems to suggest he thinks only men can do this, which is not true. While, yes, we do have statistics that show women are more at risk, it's not great to not acknowledge women can be perpetrators as well. And yes, I did get a little hung up on the creator, the founder as a man.
Yeah.
But yes. It's a pretty het cis app using slang from the Black drag community as well. Like spilling the tea is sort of there. So that's kind of a thing. But yeah, as I said, men have claimed that they've gotten past the verification system by posting selfies of women or AI-generated images of themselves as women. It's true that the chat option can sometimes lead to like mean-spirited commentary, including on men's looks, and that sucks. But that's just been like existing online for women forever. So I'm sort of, if you're mad about that, let's work on changing the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's the promising young men argument had to pop up. Basically, it could ruin a man's life, so it should be illegal. People were more angry about that than the reality of what women face. And then there is the safety of the data, which the app did promise is going to be safe. Is it safe to use this app? So, on July 25th, 2025, users at 4chan, which is pretty famously misogynistic, breached T's database, including users' IDs, their driver's licenses, and stuff like that, and other information. They also claimed to make a map of T users' locations and were generally celebratory douchebags about it. Interestingly, they were screaming that the app encouraged doxing, so they doxed the users. This is like such a sadly ironic, they proved why it exists. They were mad it was there and then proved why it was. Anyway, then there was a second breach revealing users' DMs around things like cheating and abortion, which is unfortunately dangerous information in our current timeline. But yeah, like I said, it's sad because it reinforces the issue that T was attempting to address. Like, these men got so angry that they doxed all these women and put them in danger, which is why they went to T not to feel that. Plenty of women did report feeling even less safe after, obviously, after their data had been breached, or even if it hadn't, which makes complete sense. But it is clear that the popularity of T signals that women want a safer dating app. And I desperately want that too, because every time my friends tell me about experiences they've had on those apps, I'm just horrified. And I'm like, I don't understand how this is even worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
And this day and age, why are you cheating? Just break up. Or why are you murdering? Just get divorced.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, everything's fine.
Yeah. Heavy sigh. But as I said, this is an ongoing thing. There's still a lot happening. So listeners, if you know more about this, if you were involved in any way and you don't mind sharing with us, please let us know. You can email us at hello@stuffI'venevertoldyou.com. You can find us on Blue Sky at Mom Stuff Podcast, or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff I Never Told You. We also on YouTube, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producers Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.